scaling fractions, which is what happens when you multiply a fraction by another number. So we are going to start by looking at the identity property of multiplication. And this is really important. In the identity property of multiplication, you know that any number multiplied by 1 is always going to equal that same number. That's basically saying that when you multiply a number by 1, you end up with the same or the original number that you multiplied. And that's really going to help us when we're looking at multiplying fractions by different numbers. And you can multiply a fraction by a whole number. So if you have a fraction by a whole number, if you think about it, a whole number is kind of like 1. So if you have 3/4 and you're multiplying it by 3, and we don't need to solve it out. We can just look. That 3, is it greater than or less than 1? 3 is greater than 1, so we know that 3 is bigger than 1. So what's going to happen? Since it's bigger than 1, it's going to get bigger. So this is going to end up with a larger product. Okay, now you can also look at multiplying a fraction by a fraction. So if you had the number 3/4 and you were multiplying it by 1/2, we need to look at that 1/2. So 3/4 times 1/2, 1/2. Is that larger or smaller than 1? This is smaller than 1. So since it's smaller than 1, I'm not going to end up with 3/4. I'm going to end up with less than 3/4 because this is less than 1. So this is going to give me a smaller product. And then the last situation we're going to look at is multiplying a fraction by a mixed number. So if we have 3/4 again, and we are multiplying it by 1 and 1/2, we're going to look at that 1 and 1/2. 1 and 1/2 is greater than 1 because it has 1, but it has another half. So this is bigger than 1, and we know if it's bigger than 1, we're going to end up with a larger product. So this standard is just looking at your fraction and then being able to identify what you're multiplying it by and estimating or guessing what's going to happen. So you don't actually have to solve anything. You're just determining, are you going to end up with a larger or a smaller product? And this is actually going to help you because when you go back and you have to multiply your fractions, after you know the pattern, if it's going to end up larger or smaller, it's going to help you be able to check your answer. Because if you're multiplying a fraction by a fraction and you end up with an answer that's bigger, you can say, that's not right because a fraction multiplied by another fraction should give me a smaller product. And that is scaling fractions.